is my home going to last longer? Is my home going to be more beneficial to me in some way? Is it going to be easier to maintain? Am I going to have lower energy bills and water bills? Is it going to be just cooler? Like, it's going to be like really interesting and fun to have smart technology that also just happens to be environmentally friendly. Knowing that information as soon as possible in your home search is more beneficial to you than too far down the line when you're doing a home inspection or energy audit.
Hello, this is Izumi Tanaka with Home Green Homes Podcast. Today's guest is Kari Klaus. She's the founder of Realty Sage, which is an online platform specifically for green homes, like my last listing. It provides information about different green features and benefits for both buyers and sellers, as well as some related professionals. I am very interested in learning about her journey of putting this platform together and growing it, and I feel fortunate to have another kindred soul in the world of real estate. Here's what she has to share with us. So thank you so much, Kari, first of all, for being here. She's actually calling in all the way from Thailand, which is so amazing. I'm so jealous that she's living in Thailand right now. But besides that, Kari, first of all, tell us who you are. What's your background?
Well, thank you very much for having me and working with my very odd time zone schedule. Still getting used to it. But yeah, I have a long background working on sustainable economic development. I got into real estate pretty early on in my working career, and I really enjoyed working with customers, buyers and sellers, who started asking questions about how energy efficient properties were, and it sort of excited me. And then I did a renovation in my own house, and that's when things took off.
Okay.
When you live the pain of going through a renovation, you learn a lot, and that was sort of impetus for everything since then.
Mm. So, where was this home that you renovated?
So it's a property that I still own. It's in Arlington, Virginia,
Okay.
about 5 kilometers outside of or from the White House,
Oh,
so
okay.
pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And that area is obviously known for having very old properties.
Right.
And so the property that my husband and I had purchased was an adorable little property, but definitely needed some renovations. And we took some time in figuring out what we wanted to do, and but it wasn't just kind of the design of the property. It was actually what we wanted to do with making it more energy efficient and making it for the future. We had no intention of selling it anytime soon, but if we wanted to, we still wanted to put a investment into it that made sense. And this sort of sparked that whole concept. And it was back in around 2006, 2007. So this is
Wow.
very early on.
Yeah.
So the renovation took place. We put in tens of thousands of dollars more than we really needed to in order to choose more energy efficient and water efficient features and more sustainable materials
Right.
and just do a better job.
Yeah.
And I sat back and I said, okay, friends and family, come visit my new renovation. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. And I put little placards around the house and I said, okay, in the bathroom, it has like all these like cool water saving features. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if we do go to sell this property, it's going to be a huge problem for me to explain what I've just explained to my family and
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
but to all the potential buyers out there.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, oh, this is a problem. How do we fix this?
Yeah.
And so that's that was the very beginning. And
I see.
then yeah, after that, it took a lot of time because honestly, in that time period, there was a economic recession, a really significant one, and things were really shifting in the real estate industry. I mean, and it took time for, first of all, the real estate industry to get back on track, and for people to start having the ability to start adopting more energy efficient homes and having the subsidies and tax incentives to do so. So that was a huge push. And when those pieces started falling into place, that's when I started really getting more serious about creating a website that helped for people to understand what energy efficient homes are, what is a net zero energy property, what is a passive solar design property, what are these things,
Yeah, right.
so
So,
yeah,
so that's so Realty Sage was one of the solutions that you came up with for the problems that you identified. So tell me about Realty Sage. Um, like I said in the beginning, this is a platform that I listed my last green listings with because this is the place that people can go and find green properties. So tell me um, why you chose this platform of creating a platform like this, and how did you even do that? I mean, that just feels daunting for me. I'm so grateful that you've started that, but to think about, okay, I'm going to create a platform for like you can search on the national basis. So I want to hear about the journey that you took on.
the journey is a painful one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of these things where you start off thinking, okay, I'm going to go this direction. How do I educate people, and really just share with them, the buyers, about why this home has the features that they may want. Maybe they want a healthier home. Maybe they want a
Hmm.
more energy efficient home or smart home. They want
Hmm.
all these cool things in their properties. But how do you do that? How do you get to that point where you can educate them without just putting a whole bunch of
Hmm.
text, and people have to
Yeah.
read it and figure it out? So that was a process. It started off
Hmm.
first as called Viva Green Homes. I had a very simple star system and
Hmm.
said, okay, probably 4 stars versus 5 stars, slightly has fewer features. And I said, this has got to change. We got to progress this. So the platform changed into Realty Sage.
Hmm.
Sage obviously has double meaning.
Hmm.
It means
Yeah.
wisdom and obviously the color green.
Yeah.
So, and when you're Realty Sage, you're wise about real estate. So that is the basis of the platform, is to help
Hmm.
educate people. And
Hmm.
in order to do that, and not just educate people, it's helping to incentivize sellers
Sure.
to want to invest in their properties so that they can get the return on their investment. That's a
Hmm.
hard choice for people to say, I wouldn't mind putting solar on my property, but am I going to get it back when I go to sell my
Right.
property? Am I
Right.
going to lose thousands of dollars
Yeah.
in doing so?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
unless you have a marketplace in order to actually explain the
Hmm.
benefits of solar and how
Hmm.
much cost savings it really adds up, it's hard to sometimes justify that for sellers too.
Yeah.
So it was an evolution
Yeah.
into a Sage score. The Sage score is much more complicated. It's based on hundreds of features in a property, from energy
Hmm.
efficiency, water, design, location, and I think it's the easiest way to explain it as saying it's like the walk score, but
Yeah.
for your green home.
Yeah.
How green is this property? And
Yeah.
to take it just a little step further, we included livability categories, because
Mm.
you can have a home that has, a Sage score of 90, which is really amazing. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful property. But you can also have another property that has a Sage score of 90 and go,
Hmm.
okay, so what's the difference? And some properties will have features that help it become more healthy,
Hmm.
better indoor air quality, for example. And
Yeah.
some are very high tech and smart, and so it saves energy and water because of the technology features it has.
Hmm.
So we have
Hmm.
the livability categories that help people go a little step further with the Sage score.
I see. But what year did you launch Realty Sage?
So that's an evolution too.
Yeah.
So it started off again, in Viva Green Homes, and that was approximately 2014, 2015, just
Mm-hmm.
sort of very conceptually, very basic
Mm-hmm.
website. And then Realty Sage came about in probably around 2016-ish, I want to
Okay.
say,
Now,
maybe a little
mm-hmm.
bit later. And then actually sort of at the beginning of pandemic, which is
Mm-hmm.
not the best time to launch something about real estate,
Yeah.
we launched Realty Sage Pro's portion of the website. It's
Mm,
a further expansion of the concept that, this is, when you look at real estate, it's a holistic process. It's
mm-hmm.
not just about finding a property online,
Yeah.
but you need to work with professionals who know how to market the property,
Mm-hmm.
like you,
Mm-hmm.
who can put their listings on Realty Sage, but also people who are working with home buyers throughout the process, getting financing, working through the home inspections and appraisals. So Realty Sage Pros helps connect real estate agents with home
Yeah.
buyers, home sellers, and we're expanding into other professionals as well. And
Mm-hmm.
that came about again around 2020,
Yeah.
when things were a little really interesting to see how things were going to work out with real estate.
Yeah, but I'm thinking this must have taken you massive outreach, because you're not just covering one area of, your market, but this is all over the country, right? So
That's correct.
what did you do? I don't actually remember how I found you. I know I'm a Realty Sage pro, one of your
Yeah.
pro, but I can't actually remember how I found you. So
Yes,
do you
we
remember?
connected. Well, this is a great point. So we connected, I think, actually a couple years ago. For some
Mm-hmm.
reason, maybe you had a listing. I don't.
I
I
I think it was 3 years ago actually, because
Yeah.
it was just when I moved my brokerage to my current brokerage EXP, and I know that I did some paperwork with them for you. So it must be 3 years.
I think that sounds about right. That's probably
Yeah,
when we were
yeah,
we were launching the Realty Sage Pros.
yeah, yeah.
So that seems to coincide with the time frame for sure. So what I did, so goes back to when I first launched the sort of conceptual idea of website. Okay, we're going to do this website with some
Mm-hmm.
stars and ratings. What happened was I wrote a simple blog
Mm.
about what my vision was here. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, I have this vision that, we have real estate as one of the largest, most impactful industries in our country,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we are seriously deficient
Yeah.
on providing the information that
Mm-hmm.
consumers need.
Yeah.
And you go to a grocery store. I'm backing up for a minute because
Yeah.
it's important for people to really understand how seriously deficient we are. You go
Mm-hmm.
to a grocery store and you pick up a package, and you can look at every single ingredient that's in that
Right.
package.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I didn't know there was, 50 things in this cracker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the same thing happens. You go to buy a car and it tells you how the miles per gallon, if
Right.
you're doing
Yeah.
still
Oh, the
gasoline, or
features.
talk about,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and electric vehicles and what the range is. There's lots of great information before you've even like
Right.
purchased the property.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then we look at real estate, and it still is today. I mean, my site and a few other niche sites are the exception, but real estate is seriously underserved. And you look at some of the big guys in the industry, and you scroll on their websites, and the information you get are, well, it's got some pretty pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
if it has a condo fee, I know what that is, and allows
Yeah.
pets or something. Like, there's some very basic piece of
Right.
information, but mostly it's
Mm-hmm.
pictures. And that
Mm-hmm.
is seriously unfortunate given how impactful this industry is, and
Mm-hmm.
how, if you think about what people spend their money on,
Mm-hmm.
homes are probably one of the most expensive things they're ever going to purchase, and we
Mm-hmm.
still don't give them enough information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it really was a process where I said, we've got to talk about this, and I wrote this blog. And I put this blog out there, and within the first couple of weeks of putting the blog out there, the EPA's Energy Star reached out to me.
Oh, wow.
Lead for Homes reached out for me. Other industry leaders reached out to me within my very first
Wow.
blog. Like, I have this idea. We have got to do better.
Yeah.
And they were all super supportive, because at the end of the day, we're all working towards the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of fast forward,
Mm-hmm.
that is where we are today with Realty Sage. We, tried to integrate as much as we can into one platform. And I'm not trying to be everything, but I
Mm-hmm.
am trying to say that, there are real estate agents out there who are doing amazing jobs for their clients. There are home builders out there doing really good, cool stuff with building
Mm-hmm.
properties.
Mm-hmm.
There are certifications out there that people should understand and prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
How do we put that all together so that we
Yeah.
have a place where people can understand that, and then
Yeah.
be able to select and work with people and
Yeah.
make better
Yeah.
decisions?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great when all the MLS around the country have all the green feature buttons or something that you can automatically feed into your platform so that
No,
we can go to
yeah,
your website and look for all the, green properties.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, the MLS. So this is a good thing that you brought up. Actually,
Yeah.
I think having really had the conversations with industry leaders over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and having a background in real estate myself, that doesn't solve the problem. MLS field,
Mm.
green fields don't even kind of solve the problem. There
Oh,
are a
wow.
number of issues,
Yeah.
actually. You can have an MLS that has all the possible green fields you can imagine. Let's put
Mm-hmm.
it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a real estate agent who goes in there and puts in the wrong information.
Oh.
And now you have a problem. So and that does happen. I mean, there's a story that I've shared a few times. So if anybody's heard this, they've heard you know what I'm
I
about to say.
haven't.
But yeah, the story goes, and it's from another industry leader, so I can't share it of my own. But the story goes that there was a property that was being sold, or being listed, and it was like built in the 1970s, which is not
Mm.
known for its,
Yeah.
fabulously green properties.
Yeah.
And this industry leader, she went and noticed that it was supposed to be it was listed in, because the MLS field had a net zero energy field, and it was listed basically as a net zero energy property. And she's like, not adding up.
Yeah. Yeah.
This doesn't make sense. The 1970s property is a net zero energy property. So she called up the listing agent and said, "Hey, what's up with this?" And the agent said, "Well, I just didn't know what that was, so I put a zero. I put a zero there. I don't know what the rating is. I put a zero. Well, a zero is a very good score
Yeah. Wow.
for her rating. Hers rating is a home energy rating
Yes.
system,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
rates of homes, and a zero is amazing
Yeah.
rating, actually. So we have this problem where, yes, I totally advocate for greening all MLSs, but you
Mm-hmm.
have that issue. But then you have the
That's
next
true.
step. You have the
Mm-hmm.
next step, which
Mm-hmm.
is, well, if you have all the fields in there, who's going to show them? And how
Right.
are you going to still explain it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you had a a big guy out there who big, real estate site that had it has a zero for the HERS score, what does that still mean? What
Yeah.
does it still mean to the average buyer?
Right.
What does that actually mean? So
Yeah.
I advocate for all levels of improvement.
Well, I really appreciate that because then that falls onto our shoulder as agents to know what those things mean and be able to explain that to our clients, whether it's seller or buyers. I mean, like my MLS in Los Angeles have the green feature boxes, right? You can put her
Yeah.
score, you can put certain certification. Not all the certifications are listed quite yet, but some of the most recognized, like LEED, Green, Energy Star, Build It Green and things like that. But you can't search them. You can't
Mm,
search by those things. That when you go to the search um, page, the green feature doesn't even show up for me to click to see if there's anything that has her score of blah blah blah. So I know we still have a long way to go, right, Carrie? You know,
we
we're
do.
yeah, but I'm really really proud to be part of this group of us who are
Yeah.
doing what we're doing. So it's been a few years since the Realty Sage has been up and running. And
Mhm.
how has the market been? What's the response you are getting?
It's been really positive
Mm.
and almost overwhelmingly so sometimes.
Ah, good.
In
That's
the sense,
great.
and then that's a good thing. But what happens is it's been very positive. It's been growing. But I wish I could clone myself, is what I wish
Mm-hmm.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
because I think there still needs to be so much more work done, and there needs to be
Mm-hmm.
so much more opportunity, or I would love to have Realty Page be a greater opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
host more green professionals, again,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's builders or architects
Mm-hmm.
or certifiers or whatever it might be,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what that's what we get, are
Mm-hmm.
people who say, I'm doing great things. How can I,
Mm-hmm.
collaborate and
Mm-hmm.
participate?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that obviously is not a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
It's just also making sure that we're not overwhelming consumers, with
Yeah.
too much. And how do you simplify? So
Mm-hmm.
it's been growing and it's been positive. Right now we have over 120,000 real estate agents in the
Oh,
database,
wow. Mm-hmm.
Realty Sage Pros. We've
Mm-hmm.
got thousands of home listings on Realty Sage itself.
How
And again,
many?
like I said, we're
How
trying to
many?
expand.
How
Oh,
many
thousands.
list?
I don't
Thousand?
actually, I don't actually know. Listen, I have
Okay.
to go back and check every so often.
That's great.
We have
No, that's
thousands of
great.
listings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're expanding into other professionals as well. And
Really? Like what?
yeah,
What
so
kind of?
we have home builders and
Okay.
architects,
Mm-hmm.
and we have interior designers, and
Oh,
we have
great.
all sorts of people. It's part of our next step,
Mm-hmm.
honestly,
Mm-hmm.
is trying to integrate that in a way
Mm-hmm.
that's simple and easy to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have a job for at least a little while longer here.
Yeah. So my question is, like you in the beginning, you told me that you have people asking you about energy efficiency and stuff. I mean, that alone is surprising to me. Like, this is way back when you started like thinking about
Yeah.
this. So at least 10 years ago or more, right? I mean, do you see, like you said, there's maybe 1,000 listings on your platform. Is there any concentrated areas that people are more receptive to even putting them on your platform or even going to find properties on your platform? Do you see any regional trends?
So there's two parts of this. So we
Mm-hmm.
are actually we are a Bright MLS vendor, which is, we actually have the listings from the Washington D.C. region,
Mm-hmm.
the same as you would see on other large real estate websites.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's tens of thousands of listings there.
Sure.
Uh, throughout the country, we have listings everywhere, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We rarely have them in Alaska.
Oh, wow, great.
We've had a few, but I don't think that um, it's surprising that sometimes that green real estate follows the same path as any other trends in real estate. So
Interesting.
Florida is seeing its kind of heyday of green homes now, because first of all, they've had some incentives
Mm-hmm.
to promote solar and things like that. But builders in general are realizing that, buyers want this. And so that's just the green part of it. But
Mm-hmm.
you can look at trends across the country and know very clearly that Florida grew in its population as far as residents more than
Mm-hmm.
any other state in the last few years. So
Yeah.
so it's not dissimilar. You have the demand, and the demand follows with also with
Right.
that with the real estate industry itself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously California is doing a great job. California has the mandates that they've always set the trends as far as being more environmentally friendly and setting
Mm-hmm.
the mandates. So California's net zero energy ready property
Yeah.
mandates
Yeah.
really help set the tone for other states to follow suit. What I'll
Yeah.
tell you, it's not surprising that the areas in the country that have essentially the most opportunity to build new properties is
Mm-hmm.
where you're going to see most green
I
properties show
see.
up.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
because they will build, you know, a whole subdivision
Yeah.
and Kansas, and they'll Energy Star the whole subdivision. So
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
100 new Energy Star properties right there. You know,
Right. Right.
that's kind of where we're seeing things. New York always has really outstanding, you know, high rise, LEED certified, you know,
Mm-hmm.
condo buildings, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
the trends shift a little bit, but it's really just not surprising to me when we do see
I see.
areas that have more green properties. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
following regular real estate
Yeah. Yeah.
demand, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely growing for,
Yeah.
definitely growing. It just doesn't feel fast enough for us, It's like, can we speed up a little bit?
They're a little faster. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
And,
it's
and
it's it's definitely growing faster every year now
mm-hmm.
than it had been the last decade, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, and
Mm-hmm.
I do think the government plays a big role in this.
Yeah.
You know, if the government has subsidies or if there's mandates or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that helps to spur the economy.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, it says, okay, we need to have more renewable energy
Right.
homes and things like that. And okay, now we've got more solar installers, and it helps
Mm-hmm.
provide jobs that way, and
Yeah. Yeah.
lots of
I mean,
opportunity.
Currently we have Inflation Reduction Act, so that's hopefully speeding up some of the improvement process, and I'm really
Yeah.
hoping. So tell me, what's your vision for the future for Realty Sage? What are you envisioning for yourself with this platform?
Well, you know, I really, one of the things that I've been really enjoyed is connecting people. And, you know, I will meet somebody in the industry and say, oh, you've got to meet this other person. You guys have such synergies, you've got to connect. And that's the way I am sort of my personal life and in my
Mm-hmm.
community. I've been a
Mm-hmm.
community organizer. I've worked with getting people together and doing things
Mm-hmm.
and building kind of momentum towards some sort of efforts, you know, whether it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun events or
Yeah.
other kind of matters. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I envision my company is not dissimilar to my own personality,
Mm-hmm.
which is bringing people together. And I would like to just continue to do that. You know, our tagline is a resource for everything eco-friendly in real estate. So let's bring it on. Let's bring
Yeah.
everything together. I don't want to build everything myself. I just want to connect people
Mm.
together and
Mhm.
companies together and give people the best option. So if
Mhm.
people are very good at building amazing properties, let me help you show that. Let me help you market that.
Mm.
If you're an
Mhm.
amazing real estate agent who
Mhm.
does really great work with their buyers and sellers, let me help you get there and have work with those clients.
Mhm.
Um, so that's my continued effort.
Mm.
It's a process.
Mhm. So, is there anything that I can do to help you? It's a mutual support, but is there anything I can do as a green agent in California to help us spread this even further?
You know, there's always opportunities just to share what we're doing. Listings are free on our website. Signing up as a real estate agent is free to do so. So why not, you know? And, I think it's just a matter of sharing what we're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, so many people are so incredibly positive about it that they want to participate. Why not? It's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I think in general, getting other entities on board, the private sector versus the public sector,
Yeah.
they move at different speeds. They
Yeah.
move at different speeds.
Uh-huh.
So I think people who work with their whether working on the boards or whether working kind of in their local governments, trying to have those conversations, say we've got to do better,
Yeah.
helps. At the end of the day, it's a trickle down kind of thing. It helps me, it helps others continue our work. So
Mm-hmm.
keep spreading the word and keep having those really good conversations with public officials and saying we need to
Mm-hmm.
do better and how can I do better and what can we,
Right. Right.
those are great things. The
Yeah.
public and private sector have got to work together on this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my last question for you is that obviously you need sellers and buyers, right? So how are you reaching out to sellers and buyers who may not know about this platform? And if anybody is interested in, particularly specifically interested in, oh, I want a home that's green, I want a home that's sustainably built. How do we reach, I mean, how are you reaching to that
So
audience?
well, I think it goes back to how connected I am with other people and other companies. So I have a decent network of partners and
Hmm.
always looking to expand more. But with my partners, I have people who are doing podcasts. I have people who I know who are writing, have mostly content and really wonderful eco lifestyle blogs and information resources. And working with them, we're helping to do collaborative efforts where
Hmm.
I'm helping to showcase their efforts, but they're coming back and saying, hey, I'm not everything either. I provide the content, but
Yeah.
you provide some listings. So why don't we, it's always a mutually beneficial
Hmm.
collaboration. And so that's how we're helping to spread the word. So we have people who go to different websites and different partners of mine and
Hmm.
can find us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have people who participate in other ways.
Yeah.
Have videos, and we can put
Yeah.
those on our website to share how being a green agent is a spectacular thing. All sorts of wonderful ways to
Hmm.
collaborate
Hmm.
with that.
Well, I am looking forward to keep collaborating with you for, many years to
Likewise.
come. And so lastly, just give me a message that you can share with the audience and why we should be looking at Realty Sage, especially for people who may not be so keen yet about
Yeah.
green homes or sustainably or high performing homes, whatever we want to call it. Yeah.
There are a lot of names for them. That's part of the confusion. So I think I would tell anybody who is, wanting to know more about Realty Sage or wanting to know more about green homes, you know, I'd go back to the analogy of you want to know what's in your food. You want to know
Hmm.
how your car is going to perform. You want to know more information to make better choices. Who
Hmm.
doesn't? I mean, that's just, is my home going to last longer? Is my home going to be more beneficial to me in some ways? Is it going to be easier to maintain? Am I going to have lower energy bills and water bills? Is it going to be just cooler? Like, it's going to be like really interesting and fun to have smart technology that also just happens to be environmentally friendly. Knowing that information as soon as possible in your home search is
Hmm.
more beneficial to you than too far down the line when you're doing a home inspection or energy audit later. So I want to tell people, if you can get more information, if you can know better, you can do better. And for the sellers out there who've already decided they want to like add solar or become more energy efficient with their systems and things like that, hang on, we're getting there. We want to market your property. We want to make sure that people get all the information so that they can understand
Mhm.
all the cool things and all the good things you're doing to your homes. So that's pretty much what I would say to all those people.
Yay. Thank you so much. That's very much what I would have expected. Thank you so much, Carrie, for your time and coming on my podcast with me. I'm very honored to have you. And I wish you the best. And like I said, I look forward to working with you in the future.
Likewise. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for
again.
having me.
Thank you. This was Izumi Tanaka with Home Green Homes Podcast. Until my next episode.